We're live.
All right, people.
We're 6 minutes early.
We're early today. Yeah. I'm on like borrowed time or found time or extra time, whatever you want to call it. Not supposed to be here right now.
The gift of time. That's what Megan.
There you go.
The gift of time.
Yeah. Extra day that I wasn't expecting to have. We'd gotten caught up on LZ up to the painters, and so Mike was taking a week when it all worked out, like all the timing worked out where he got all the various projects done, so then he can let the painters in there by themselves, because they need us out of the way. They need to mask everything off, and some of that primer stuff is pretty nasty. So painters will be there all next week, so we're hoping to go back and see a completed drywall painted building, so then we can go and do all the finish work, finish it up. So that's the plan.
Nice.
So we were able to leave last night, make a pit stop at Ruth's Chris, and
did you use your gift cards?
Oh yeah,
I was going to say I saw the number pop up. I was like, I know he spent more than that at Ruth's Chris.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, and they screwed. They were, I don't know, something happened where they just had a lot of people there, and so their steaks took a while. So they gave us another $25 credit. So it was nice. like a cheap one. It's great.
Which one did you guys go to? The Lake Mary one?
Yeah.
That's a good
it's
one.
On our way home.
Yeah.
Works out great. It's good news. Good thing they don't have one here. I'd ruin it.
You'd eat
just like I ruined Chipotle.
Yeah.
Plus, the Lady Lake Chipotle is probably the worst Chipotle in America. It's just gross.
I've never been.
I don't understand how they make it. They're so bad. Yeah. So bad.
It's been a while since you've had some Chipotle.
Yeah, I'm done. It's dead to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have no interest. It's like eating it. Unless I'm going to eat a burrito, which I'm not going to do. The burritos are delicious, but the bowl, I just can't do it. It tastes terrible. It just grosses me out now. I don't know why. I ruined it. Ate too much.
All right, well, let's see what we got going on here today. Let's see. We got people checking in from Minnesota, Vegas, India.
Nice.
Eric claims he's going to be the garage winner.
Okay.
Which, let's talk about that for a second. So Monday's the last day.
Yep.
And we're going to draw the winner next Friday. I'm guessing,
correct. Yeah.
During this time.
A few days afterwards, and your odds are really good. I mean, I'm sure we'll have a big day on Monday. Hopefully this weekend. But somebody's life's going to change. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. I hope they have a garage, and I hope I hope they have a garage and not take the $50K. But if you don't have a garage, there is the option is, hey, I don't have a garage. So we write you a check for $50,000 and send you on your way. And hopefully you can use that to buy a garage someday, buy a house. Nice little down payment start.
Let's see. Andrew wants to know, Matt, have you tried any of the DMF pendant lights?
Yeah, we had them all here. They're cool, but I don't know what I would use that for. You'd have to have a really ultra, modern, or you'd have to have the right style place. It's basically the same module in a tube, but I haven't found a use case for them.
Let's see. Speaking of lights here, you'll appreciate this. Eric says, this channel has made me question every light in my house. They're not worthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. Yeah, all of our lights, I mean, light in here is junk.
Yeah,
it's terrible. And so all of our lights in general are not very good, The only two that I found that are worthwhile would be Cree retrofits or the DMF stuff. And you really don't want color shifting things. I did the SLG lights because I had needed 5K, but those are color changing, and color changing, they're not good in any color. Then they're just okay. And so there's you generally want a dedicated chip that's dedicated and designed for that color rendering. The Ketra lights from Lutron are okay, but I never really liked those, and those are really expensive, $300, $400, $500 a piece.
Couple garage giveaway questions here. Our buddy in Alabama, David J. War Eagle. When is the cutoff for the garage giveaway?
So it would be 11:59 Eastern on Monday.
On Monday.
Yep.
That's the last time you can buy. And I don't know if he was referring to this, but someone asked last week, let's say they win and then they have a garage being built in May, June, whenever.
I mean, we haven't really stipulated a cutoff here, but I'm sure we could work something out.
Yeah, we kind of do have something in the rules for that, actually, but we can work with you on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have you ever put a mat under your Swiss tracks to minimize the clatting noise? Brendan wants to know.
Well, the Swiss tracks is 3/4 of an inch thick, and their interlock or their system where the pegs and the receiver clips in place pretty stoutly. So I haven't found a need for that. Now if you do like 1/2 inch tiles, or if you're doing fully enclosed tiles, tiles that you can't see through, they tend to curve up a bit, especially some of the cheaper like Race Deck and some of these other Chinese knockoff brands. Then you end up with a clickety clackety sound. But that's the only reason why I can stomach the Swiss tracks, is it doesn't really do that. So putting some sort of underlayment down, I find to be unnecessary.
CK Mac wants to know, do giveaway orders that are RYS still count for the garage giveaway?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely so. Let's see. When is Built Hamburger coming to the store? Avenge Fishing wants to know.
That's a good question. I need to get working on that this week. Soon, very soon.
Speedbreak Aviation wants to know, are Matt's garage walls not textured? Mike seems to open and patch drywall so fast in some of the older videos, but he doesn't appear to have to do any texturing.
Yeah, my whole house is like a level 4 or 5 finish, so it's flat. There's no texture in my house, which you would prefer. Texture is to hide imperfections generally. So most, cookie cutter type construction is going to use some sort of orange peel or knock down on the ceiling. So my whole house is smooth. So yeah, no texture on my walls.
Chaz Mac says, I know what your opinion is on them, but would you be willing to configure Lamborghini to see what they offer, or at least for the laughs?
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking this weekend I'd probably do the Amira. So if you're not familiar, we talked about this last week, doing a new series on, hey, I'm up sitting on my on my couch shopping cars at least 5 times a week, and so I know we all do this. It was just kind of cool to just turn the camera on, turn the screen share on, and capture it. And so I think I'm going to do the Lotus Amira this week, and then I'll keep asking everybody, and whatever car seems to be the most heavily voted, I'll do that. But I'm going to hopefully this week get ramped up on videos. We have some vlogs to do on our move, which I think you'll find interesting. Mike's out trying to figure out how to move the shed right now. I think it's going to be a good week of videos, and then we get into the conclusion of the LZ project.
Yeah, that was actually suggested in the chat here last week during the podcast. So that's maybe the fastest it ever went from idea to video. It's like a day.
Yeah.
And so far, 24,000 people have watched you configure.
Yeah. I think it could be pretty popular. I find it fun. It's easy to make, and it creates conversation, which I like.
And thank you to SC in the chat. He's the one who suggested that. Let's see here. Are we getting a wash and talk anytime soon?
Yeah, no, I need to get moving on that.
All of his cars are dirty.
I know the weather's been so crappy, and I was sick as crap, for like a week and a half. So I'll get back to it.
Steven wants to know, hey guys, any updates on Russo cabinets and where they will sit price-wise? Cabinets seem to have a deep separation. It's either choosing crap with New Age or taking a loan out for Sonic.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. So Russo, depending on how you configure, is going to be, I think the pricing is in between like Sonic MSS and MSS Plus. So you're a little less than MSS Plus. You have sort of infinite configurability. It depends on the color and styles of cabinets. It really depends on how many drawers you choose. Drawers are where it gets expensive. Because it's fully custom, you can configure whatever drawer combination you want, within some parameters. But you're going to be a little less. So you're going to need to take out a loan to do Russo. It's not cheap.
JForm814 says he has a 3-car garage waiting for to win the
I'm ready.
garage giveaway.
Yeah, nice.
Ben, our buddy up in Gainesville, says, happy Friday, guys. Just had plumbers run water from my pressure washer inlet and my hose bib.
Nice.
Don't think I have room in my wall for a 4-inch Prior P114 bib. Any recommendations for a shorter bib?
Yeah, I haven't really found. I mean, I need to just go to Home Depot and buy some junk. There's got to be something. The other thing you could consider, look at the Aquor, AQUOR, I believe it's called. Is the flush mount. Yeah, I'm correct, Aquor. And maybe something like that could work for you. But really, it's Aqua or Prior. Those are the two like high quality hose bibs, the only two that I've ever found.
Oh, yeah, I remember those things.
Yeah.
That is pretty sweet.
Getting hot.
Let's see. Hey, Matt. Reviews of the new Ego pressure washer are starting to pop up. Will you eventually do an extensive review of it? Ego pressure.
Yeah, I don't know why I would call it. I don't call what I do reviews because reviews are for. I'm not going to say that word. I'm going to say the R word. But we'll call it a use. I'll use the thing on camera and tell you what I think. Versus, here's what the specs are and here's how it works and here's what everybody else is saying. I'm going to tell you what I think, and then we'll start modifying it and see if it's modifiable. So yeah, I mean, when they start coming out, I was supposed to have one, but I don't know why I don't have it yet.
It got stolen. Remember when that the story?
Yeah.
Ryan P. says, hi from Minnesota. Matt, do you still plan to develop an OG air compressor? I've been looking for a new quiet compressor for the garage and look forward to what you come up with.
Yeah, so our pathway is the Pig to dry ice systems we're going to be doing probably in March. And then we'd like to do some, hopefully we'll have some movement on my studio in the new building so that I can dig into the sort of the mid-tier versions. Those will be the $3,000 to $10,000 compressors. And then I want to make, the target is to make one that's $799 or worst case $999. Make one that's $800 or less that can produce, a decent output, say, I don't know, 10 CFM, 15 CFM, something like that, that's reasonably quiet, that's a reasonably small footprint, that's better, because I'm telling you guys, the California Air Tools stuff is not great. I mean, I'd always thought I'd just rep them and become a dealer for them and really deep dive into it, but everyone I've ever touched has been broken, and they're just not, I don't think they're the same people that they were 15 years ago. But I don't know. It just, my gut's telling me no. And all the ones I've used have been junk.
Larry Morris says, I just wired my garage for a mini split.
Okay.
It is 500 square feet.
Yep.
What recommendations do you have for the mini split?
If it's that small, I mean, you're probably 16,000 or 24,000 BTUs. What I've been advised and what seems to have worked for me is undersizing slightly. Because the one difficulty that a mini split will have is with dehumidification. And so if you undersize the unit slightly, it'll run more often, which then would help with dehumidification in the garage. So my garage is let's see, it's 35 by 24. So mine's like, let's say 1,000 square feet, 900 square feet. And I have a 24,000 BTU, and it handles it pretty well. Now I've insulated doors. So I think that, you're probably, I think they come in I think that the size is a 16,000. So somewhere, 12, 16, 18,000 BTUs is probably what you're going to want for that garage.
JForm814 says I recently joined Inside the Hex.
Nice.
Do you send out emails to members to notify them of a new video drop?
No, that's the one difficulty, is that there's no, we've been working on this forever to try to figure out a way to do an RSS feed. It's complicated because the video is posted and hosted on Vimeo, and then that video is private, and then we can put it behind the paywall on our app on the website. And the apps to date haven't figured out how to set up a darn RSS feed where it can send out an email. So you just have to go and check on it regularly. It's freaking clunky, I know, but I want it to be on our site and available to people direct rather than through some weird third party where they could censor or shut it down. Not that I'm saying anything controversial, but I just don't want that risk.
Delton says, hey, Matt, do you have any experience repairing a rock chip in a windshield? I'm trying to decide if repair is my best option or should I just replace the whole windshield?
No, I've always just replaced it. I feel like the goopy repair they put in there just never looks good. I've seen a few people do it, but yeah, I would just get a new one. Zwarzel419
says, hey, Matt, I'm trying to find a good, comfortable wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if you have any good recommendations. I've been through about 10 different ones, and I can't find a nice one.
I'm a front pocket wallet guy, and I like the Ridge wallet, which isn't comfortable, because it's a square brick that you're putting in your pocket. So I don't know that I have a recommendation outside of. I really like the Ridge. I've had 10 different versions of it. Currently have the leather one. I think it's in my drawer.
And we have the Groove wallet.
Yeah, some people like that.
I like that one. It's not comfortable.
No, definitely not. Yeah, it's solid or square plastic, metal.
Just
I don't know. I don't know.
Let's see. Hey, Matt, we're planning a ski trip to New Hampshire.
Okay.
Says Austin, in a couple of weeks. Should I do anything extra to protect my paint and ceramic coat before making the trek up north?
I don't think you'd need to do anything extra. I mean, normally if your car's coated, just put a coat of drying aid on before you go, and then when you come back, try to get it desalted. But I wouldn't do anything specific. One other thing, you could, Brake Buster will help with anti-corrosion. I don't think I would do anything different. The big is when you come back, right, and getting the undercarriage cleaned, and getting either like the Mosmatic surface cleaner, or just climbing underneath it and turning your wand upside down so you can clean the bottom off. I would want to do most of my work afterward.
Scott Taylor is looking. He wants to combine two products here. See what you think of this.
Okay.
Would a 4-finger mitt made from the same material as the Incredimitt work, or a big no-no?
I don't know. I think I'm sure there's stuff like it. I've never really found a need to do anything differently because I like the lambskin so much. But I'm sure it couldn't hurt to have something like that. I mean, you figure the Increda brush is used in the nastiest part of the wheel and it's fine, so I'm sure it would work. I don't think they have anything like that, but it would be cool. But I like the lambskin mitt. It seems to work really well.
Let's see. Brendan wants to know, is there an option to register at OG for my wedding?
That would be cool.
We used to have a wish list thing, but that
crashed the website.
Lots of issues, so we did away with that. Jose the Great wants to know, has Matt tried out Armor Detail Supplies Amplify as a drying aid?
No, I haven't. I'd be hard-pressed to have anything beat OG Drying Aid, but I'm sure I'll try it at some point.
86 says the configuration series is awesome. I visit the Porsche configurator at least once a week.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Classic Carson says, what's a good budget first car?
Yeah, I mean, I get this question a lot, and I'm always terrible at answering it. I'm sure I'll be better at answering it when when Ryan gets his first car, and I actually have to put some time into thinking through that. I think that the key to the budget is stay away from turboed cars. N54 3 Series. Stay away from Subarus and Evos. Stay away from cars that have the need for a lot more work. So then you're into the naturally aspirated stuff, the Hondas, the Toyota stuff that has an engine without a turbo attached to it or a supercharger. So I'm inclined to try to find cars like that I think are cool, that could be a solid candidate. But I'm not sure where that is. Is it BRZ or some version of that car, that Toyota 86? Is it some sort of 350Z or just an S2000? Some car that has whatever function I'm looking for, but is naturally aspirated, so I don't end up in the hole with fuel pump issues and carbon buildup issues and turbo problems and cooling problems and more sophistication. You have yourself an NA vehicle, it's just easier to work on. So I'd be inclined to chase that.
We got a super chat here. $10 US from Improved Garage. Looking to add storage to a room attached to my garage for car parts, extra supplies.
Yep.
How do you like your lev rack? Do you have recommendations on bins, shelves, drawers? And is a drawer by itself freight? I guess it means freight shipping.
So the lev rack, 100% recommend. I don't love the drawers. They're Rousseau drawers, or made by Rousseau, but they're a drawer that it just doesn't open comfortably, because you're pulling on this floating rack. I like the shelves the best because the shelves to me are the most universal. And so my whole lev rack is set up with shelves, and then I put some like bin holder racks across the back. So I'd want bin holder racks, flat shelves. I'd stay away from the drawers, and then you can, and I would order more shelves than you think you'll need, because you don't want to have a bunch of like low stuff that, in a tall shelf. You want to fit, I would fit 5 to 6, maybe 7 shelves in each section. And then that'll solve pretty much any problem you can have, and then get some of the blue or red bins, and you can store nuts and bolts and things. But I love the lev rack. I plan on, in my mad scientist lab, I want to do 3 walls of lev rack in there is my plan.
David says, "Hey Matt, I want to thank you again for helping me get squared away with a set of Dyn Audio Core 59s.
Ooh.
Definitely my favorite purchase from OG so far.
I told you.
The Core 59s are absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they're insane. They look really industrial because they're pro speakers for recording studios, but they could be used in a discerning 2-channel listening setup, or in a garage where you just want to rip your face off. They're pretty wild.
Ooh, I'm interested to see how you respond here. Okay. Obsessed Mobile Detailing says, I know you don't like stinky old cars, but I would love to see you modify an 04 Mustang Cobra. I'm certain it would attract more potential OG types.
Never going to happen. Yeah, there are not many OG types that are owning that that thing.
04 Mustang?
Yeah.
Cobra?
No, thanks.
All right, Big Head James, our buddy. He's in Lakeland now, actually, says, Afternoon, Matt and Chris. How's the prep going for moving into the new building?
I think it's going great. I mean, they're finishing the parking lot today, I think.
Correct. They're striping it tomorrow. Yep.
And so they'll finish it tomorrow then. And we're moving in on Wednesday, I believe.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And so we're on schedule. Get it done. I'll be here all week, so I'm going to be able to help with that and do some quote unquote supervising. And so we're moving. Remember, we're moving the warehouse first, getting that all set up, operational, functional, and then we'll move the guys from Yarn in there second. And then depending on the status of the building on 42, if that sells or doesn't sell, whenever that sells, we'll move the guys from Curated down to here. So after we get the warehouse done, I'm sure they'll start piecemealing the Curated stuff down here, start moving stuff, piece by piece down here, and then the final step would be to move, my studio out of Yarn building and get that, cleaned out.
When's the last time you went over there?
Last week, I guess.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot that's happened even since then. But yeah, things are going well, James. We planned it out. We're, I think, maybe a little ahead of schedule, so it's been good. Also, he says, I got my garage giveaway entry in the form of some OG blend coffee. I'm excited to give it a try in cold brew form.
Yeah, I don't know if I condone that or not, but
he didn't have any hats. He had to buy some coffee instead. Let's see. Jose wants to know, is there any headway on the rubber boot protector for the pressure washer guns? My wife got me an SGS 28 for Christmas from OG, and it's a joy to use over the Ryobi stock gun.
No movement there.
AFH says, hey, Matt, what do you personally think contributed to your weight loss the most? Strict diet or the exercise? Or something else?
First, it was mindset. Finally, something just clicked where, hey, I'm not doing this for like a certain period of time. And then, man, what if this were the thing that solved my problems, And then, diet is key. You can't outwork, especially as you get older, you can't really outwork the, eating terribly. So removing, folic acid in the form of enriched white flour was, I think, the biggest reason for it. You kind of lose that addiction of it, and then it's the thing that really hurts your ability to function if you can't process folic acid. But yeah, it's mindset mainly. Okay, I'm in, and then once you start to see some progress, it gets easier. It starts to snowball on itself. So yeah, I saw 210 on the scale yesterday for the first time. 210.9. It's probably 0.99, but I'll take it. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of fasting. I did a 72-hour and then another 24-hour following it. So I fasted for 72, had a steak, immediate explosive diarrhea, so that steak goes right through you, you know. And then I did 24-hour fast. I went to Ruth's Chris last night, but you know, no bread or anything. The only cheat would have been the breading on the fried, you know, spicy shrimp, which is, you know, not much at all. And then it had a New York strip and had lobster bisque. So a little bit of things, you know, off the main thing. But I think I've only had, I had ice cream cake on Ryan's birthday, and a much smaller amount than I normally would have. I've had probably 2 bowls of like Kashi cereal, and I've had, you know, I've eaten various like, you know, non-floured, you know, chips and things here and there, you know, occasionally over the course of the last 6 or 7 months. But largely, you know, I've stayed away from anything junk. I did have quite a period in the middle there where I was adding some fruit in as I was trying to get acclimated to carnivore. But the goal would be, if I get solidly in the, you know, 208, 210 range, then I'll start incorporating, you know, pineapple and raspberries and, you know, and you know, fruit in general, just as my snack, and just try to fight against the urge to eat, you know, chips and chocolate and candy and all that kind of stuff as much as possible.
Super chat here from Improved Garage, $5 US. Autofiber makes a mitt like the Incredipad. It's called the Wheel Paw, and it works well.
Yeah, I figured there's some people that have that. Yeah.
There we go. Autofiber Wheel Paw. Looks exactly like what he was talking about. Thanks, Improved Garage. CK Mac, any headway on that Russo rolling cart that you saw at SEMA? That thing looked legit.
Yeah, I've been waiting because you know, one less thing to move. But I, you know, have the catalog for it, and I have to, you know, put it all together, figure out which one I want to order. Or probably order 2 or 3 different versions of it, and you know, go from there. But I've been waiting till we, you know, get moved, and then I'll get that ordered.
CJ says, my garage has some copper pipes exposed on the interior wall.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way to insulate them that looks clean?
Yeah, I mean, they have that, you know, black foam, and so I would probably figure out a way to get black foam and then tape it really nicely. You know, get some like black Gorilla tape or something like that. And so if I cut the foam nice and square at a nice 90 degree, and then I put the foam over it, and then if I were able to sort of tape or maybe even, you know, put a nice zip tie of some sort on the ends, and just try to make it look as presentable as possible.
Matt Donovan says, hey, from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Matt, do you have any info posted about your diet/exercise routine?
No. Well, actually, the video on, let's see, it would probably been about a month and a half ago, where I posted, you know, where I'm at. In the description of that video, it has all the different links to things, or you can just email me and I'll send it to you, because I have an updated version of it. Right, you know, put in links. I have links to all the things I've been buying.
Adam R. wants to know, will the LZ collab shirts stay in the store long term, or are they just for the giveaway?
We'll probably keep them up for another month, maybe, and then, you know, once we run out, we'll probably finish it up.
Darren wants to know, is EXO still the stuff?
Yes, EXO V5.
And are you looking for new staff? I just retired from the fire department as the PIO and social media marketing expert. I'm in Seattle, but love to move down to God's waiting room.
At the moment, no, but you never know.
Let's see. Mike Parker says Ridge wallet or nothing.
Yeah.
Darren says Secrid wallet is the best, so I looked them up. This is
interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting looking.
That looks like it might be a little more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely looks softer.
You get one of the bendable versions.
Oh. And then what was the other one? I lost it now. Sorry. Any tips or products on getting the plastics that are sun faded to be restored? Kyrie wants to know.
Yeah, you know, you clean them well with, you know, all-purpose cleaner, and then probably follow with some isopropyl alcohol, and then the product's called Solution Finish. So get a bottle of Solution Finish, put that, you know, do several different coats, you know, follow the instructions on it, and then you would coat it with EXO V5. Would be my recommendation.
Mentally Offline says Travex Summit is one of the best, even slimmer than the Ridge wallet. So that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
That's one of their versions. Look very tactical.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any idea on things to do to an obsessed Garage-ify an airplane hangar? Reed Buchanan wants to know.
Well, the cool thing about an airplane hangar is you have super tall ceilings, you have giant walls to work with, but you would do something similar. I'd do Swiss tracks, I'd do a custom install pressure washer. If you're cleaning planes and having a dual Crenza, or maybe the KWS 700, the bigger pressure washer with more flow would be helpful in keeping the planes clean. Mezzanines are always cool in hangars because hangars are usually a little taller, so you can do mezzanine areas to have cool areas underneath and then above. You get storage above, or maybe office above, or a living room type thing above or below. But yeah, hangars can be really cool. We've done a bunch of them. We designed them, rendered them, but you can make that amazing because you usually have a lot of room to do a lot of cool stuff.
All right, Single Cab gives us some info here. I think he's referring to lights, but you would know.
Okay.
Single Cab says all the chips are single color. To do bicolor, they just half the amount of one color and add the others, and they just selectively dim one color or the other.
Yeah. So then you end up generally if you have now I'm talking about just color temp, right? So 2700 to 6500. They sometimes will blend with multiple chips to get 6500 Kelvin or something like that. But I find that if it's dedicated and the light is calibrated for that specific color, otherwise they have to make compromises in CRI and quality of light output. But yeah, I get what he's saying.
Douglas Burns says, I'm tuning in from Scotland. Road salt is a big thing here, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I love the podcast, by the way. I've listened to every episode, but this is the first time I've managed to tune in live.
So I'm going to spend some time on that with Pete from Built Hamber on the corrosion resistance, and we spend so much time on the top side of our car. What about the bottom? What about underneath? And clearly for me, I don't have to worry about that as much because we're in Central Florida here. It doesn't snow. We don't deal with salt and conditions like that, but the rest of the world does. And so it's something that I can leverage Pete and his experience there in anti-corrosion, where Built Hamber's got their chops, and spend some time educating on products and how might I tackle that if it mattered.
Let's see. Dan wants to know, hey, Matt, what would you recommend to use on polished wheels like CCWs, since the wheels will oxidize under ceramic coatings? Thanks.
Yeah, I think I'd have a tendency to just try to wax it if I could. I would probably try using the Dr. Beasley's metal coat on it. Try one on a pair, like the front wheels, and see how it responds, see how it does. I've never had wheels like that, so I haven't had to go, perform that exercise. I know that Optimum on the professional line had a metal coating, like a bare metal coating. I don't think that they offer it to the public, but those are the only two that I really know of that have spent time in making those, being able to either coat or protect those products. So I would probably try the Dr. Beasley stuff and see how it holds up.
Huda wants to know, hey, Matt, when will we see you again on the Adam LZ project videos, or are you tied up with a new HQ?
Yeah, so we'll be back. I'm back in the videos this week. So I think Waba has 2 videos to put up, and then we'll be devoid of videos for a week, and then we're going back not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, and then I'll be in all of them.
Yeah, there was an Inside the Hex video that posted today, actually, from a few down there. How will the visiting experience differ, Guy wants to know, with the new facility versus the old facility? What can people expect when they show up to tour / purchase / etc.?
Same. I mean, come on in. You just walk on in, and it's going to be, what you're going to expect is an ugly looking building for a while, that's for sure. But we'll tour you around, show you. It'll be more of a conversation about what will be, not what is, and then, but yeah, I want people to be able to come and come check it out.
Yeah, you can still buy stuff.
For sure.
Definitely. Let's see. Divine Crimson Thunder says, my 2-car garage is barely 20 by 20,
Yep.
and I need to park my 2 cars inside.
Mm-hmm.
If I win the garage giveaway, how would you design things?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge, but we might have to try to. I don't know.
How big was Emmanuel's garage? Because you basically made that into one.
Yeah, it was
garage.
basically the same.
Oh.
Yeah, we converted his to a single. We would just have to do narrow. We would definitely have to do MSS cabinets, and depending on the type of car you have, maybe a lift isn't in the cards for that garage. Maybe it is, but things we can't do. We can't like recess a lift. We don't have time. That takes weeks to do that, and it would cost too much. And so but I'm sure we could come up with something really cool and creative. I mean, it's still a garage. I can spend a lot of money in a small space. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's part of the deal, Divine. So part of what you win is you get to come here, sit down with Matt, sit down with the garage design team, and work
we
through it
kind
here.
of think through it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. West 23 was so. Hey Matt, is there any chance Milwaukee makes a dual bucket mount for pack out dolly?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know of anything in the works.
Delton says he's looking to stock up the guest house for visitors.
Okay.
What is the destination OG choice of body wash and shampoo to stock the shower with? What else should I keep stocked in the bathrooms?
I'll use Irish Spring, so I like Irish Spring.
The body
and
wash.
Then I have no
Or the-
hair, so I just buy like what is it, Aussie, the pump stuff. It's
the purple bottle.
reasonably decent, but cheap, in comparison. So those are the two things that we have: Irish Spring and Aussie, because they sell a big like half-gallon jugs with a pump on it. I like that because I don't know, it feels cleaner to me.
Yeah, and the soap. He doesn't do body wash, I don't think.
Bounty, and then have Bounty, and then Charmin Extra Soft.
Okay.
Have those there. Those are key. And then get some nice towels. I got what are the Target towels? They're like Target. They're not called Target, but they're like whatever their fancy version's called, which is a bit of an oxymoron. Yeah, I forget what what is their brand called? Threshold. That's it.
Threshold.
Yep.
There you go. Reasonably priced. And bar soap.
Yep.
Bar soap. Danny wants to know, what's your favorite foam cannon?
The Griot's Boss.
DP Collins says, hey Matt, I share your new passion for nice watches. Bought myself an Omega Seamaster GMT.
Nice.
Question is, do you have a watch winder? If so, any advice on them, especially programmable ones?
Yeah, I bought the Swiss Cubic, so I have 4 of them. One of them is programmable. The other 3 are not. They're just, where they just choose a speed. And the thing that sucks is the 4th one I bought is the programmable one, and it's a different frickin' size, which drives me crazy. So I got 1 little one and 3 big ones. Looks stupid. The standard is the what's that company called? Crazy expensive. I forget the brand, but I didn't like how most of them. Let's see. There's one brand. So there's the Swiss Cubic stuff. It's pretty cool looking. And then there's one brand that makes the industry standard. It starts at a Wolf. Yeah, Wolf 1834. But it's just a little bit too fancy for my style. So I like the Swiss Cubics, and I'm just buy them. They're like $650 for the little square. It looks pretty cool when you put them next to each other. And they're battery powered, and the batteries last a long time because I didn't have a spot to plug mine in. All the Wolves, they have a few battery one, but not any one that I liked. And then they're like $7,000 and crazy amounts of money for them.
Let's see. Steven wants to know, hey Matt, can you walk us through a typical day of meals with Carnivore?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if I'm not fasting, what I'll do is, so like today, I'm not fasting today. So I woke up at 5 or 4:15, went to the 5 a.m. class, came back, cold plunged, showered off really quickly, went back to sleep. So freezing
Morning
cold.
napping.
Yeah, because I was up till like 10:30. Normally, if I'm going to do that, because I'm off schedule, so it'll take me a little while to get back to that. Like, I'd like to go to bed at 9 o'clock if I'm going to get up that early, and so I don't normally like to go back to sleep. But I don't want to survive on 6 hours of sleep. That's no good for me. And so then when I woke up at I don't know, fight sleep till 8 o'clock or something like that. And so then 8 o'clock I take my supplements, and so like the little pills of vitamins, my methylated multivitamin, B12, methylated B12, all the different things you've seen me take. I take Athletic Greens, which is probably nonsense, but whatever. I'm taking that as well, and then a couple scoops. So I double like a protein serving in hydrogenated water. So I have Mountain Valley spring water that I have delivered. Take the Mountain Valley spring water, put it in my Eco hydrogenator, and I hydrogenate the water, and then I use that for my Athletic Greens and my protein with a scoop of glutamine in there, and it helps to absorb, supposedly. I don't know if I will buy it, but whatever. It seems like a good idea. Makes me feel good. And then most days, so this morning I made 3 fried eggs and had maybe, I don't know, 2 inches of Amish Colby cheese. Just ate a couple pieces of cheese. And so I'm frying the eggs in butter. So put butter in the base, salt the butter, crack the eggs. I only did 3 eggs. Normally I do scramble, but today I just did some eggs over medium. Because I don't have any toast to dip in the yolk to make it sunny side up, which I would prefer. But what are you going to do with the you just lick the plate or something? So I with just salt and pepper, and then I put a little bit of Cholulu's or whatever it's called. Hot sauce, just a couple of spritzes of that on it, just for some flavor. And so that was what I ate for breakfast. Then I'm starving at the moment, but starving feels better than full. Energy-wise, clarity-wise, obviously weight and health-wise. And then tonight, what I was planning on making, I have a bunch of stuff kind of left over that I bought for Adam LCs, and so I have that are going to go bad if I don't eat them. So I have some I forget what brand it is, but some organic beef, hot dogs. So I'll probably eat those. And then, but normally I eat a steak. So normally I would eat a ribeye. But I had a ribeye the last couple of days. So last 2 days I had a ribeye. So I don't want to beat a ribeye into the ground. So that's when I'll supplement with, sausage is not like preferred to eat, but I'll order, Snake River Farms has really great barbecue stuff now where you can buy like frozen, already smoked brisket, already smoked, ribs. So sometimes I'll eat ribs. I like ribs because you get super full super fast, and you don't eat very much. And so ribs, even though it's not the healthiest meat choice, but I find that I eat very little chicken and pork. Most of what I'm eating is steak, red meat. And I haven't done the blood work because of my fears of that, but
you feel better.
There's no question. If we did a blood panel, I'm freaking killing it. The whole nonsense of meat gives you high cholesterol and stuff is bullcrap. So I don't buy into any of that stuff. And so I'm hit 210, flirting with 210. So I'm probably 14%, 13.5% body fat, something like that. And I've been dealing with a little bit of, I almost tore my bicep from doing too much weight. So I've kind of had to ratchet back a bit my thought process on doing CrossFit and, what weights I'm messing with. Because as you get fitter and I just keep following the weight up, and I'm like, well, why don't I just do more reps and faster, and get more cardiovascular in my, mountain biking, my legs feel pretty strong. But I've averaged a mountain bike ride once every other week, and still I feel like I'm not losing it every time I go out. So that's a typical day, is usually some sort of breakfast. I don't eat lunch. I don't eat snacks. And then I'll eat. The key is to just eat less, take in less calories. The struggle is at night, so I'm going to go home hungry, And then what we've been also doing, which has helped me a lot, is, because Kate very likely has the same gene mutation that I do, and she, is a kid and carb crazy, so we're attempting to keep all of the, keep all that white flour out. And if we are going to have anything with flour, it's at least an organic version that doesn't have folic acid in it. And so we're working on making that transition of making choosing healthier choice, which costs a lot more. But if it's not in the house, but like the other day, we had Annie, or what is it, Annie's, which is one of the organic companies. But they had like the white cheddar bunnies, and I housed a good half a box of that. Which I find that at my current weight, if I do that once in a while, it's it's not going to kill me. If I stay away from the really terrible stuff, I think I can be in good shape.
All right, so Chris H. from Ocala has a question then.
Okay.
All right, I kind of asked you a little bit about this. So,
Yep.
Whoever that guy was in the chat last week cost me $100 because I went to Snake River Farms. I got ribeyes and the hamburgers.
Okay. Yep.
So, this is what I got. I got the choice because I couldn't get the prime.
Yep. Well, you can get prime in 1.5, but not.
Is that the way it worked? I see.
Yeah.
All right, so I got choice.
Okay.
So what's the preparation method? They're in the freezer right now.
Yep. So always keep in the freezer. And so what I'll do, like if I was going to have a steak today, I would have taken it out at breakfast and just leave it on the counter.
Okay.
And it'll take all day to, it doesn't take all day to thaw out, but by the time I get home, say 5 o'clock or so, it's hopefully close to room temperature. It'll still probably have some sweat, on it. Mm-hmm. And then I take the steak out, cut it out. And then I want to salt, pepper, and what is that brand I've been using? But I buy Chud's 16 mesh pepper. It's just easier than trying to crack pepper on. It's not fresh, but I find it to be really tasty. So I'm going to salt it heavily. Now, a 1-inch, you're not going to salt as much as a 1.5.
Okay.
Now, if you were going to, let's say that $27 choice, USDA choice, which I actually prefer over the prime from Snake River Farms, if I'm going to, if it's just me, it's way better. Now, they didn't have 1-inch. This is a new thing for them. They only had 1.5s. So 1.5-inch from them was 20 to 24 ounces.
That's a lot of
and
steak.
you can't. I mean, you can, but the steak is richer. It's going to be saltier, especially if you salt it to taste and you cook it right. It's going to be pretty rich. And if you get the American Wagyu, man, even richer. So you can't. I find that I end up giving the dog some and giving the kids some. So if the kids and Michelle are home, I'll cook the 1.5 because then we'll all eat. I'll eat 50% of it, and they'll come in like ravenous carnivores. They come and grab some of my steak, but they wouldn't choose to eat it, and so I don't make it dedicated for them. So what I'll do is cut it out of the package, put it on the plate. Hopefully it's somewhere close to room temp by then, and then I'm going to salt it first, pepper it, but I'm going to salt all sides, the short side and the long sides, the regular flat side. And then I'm going to let it sit for an hour or so, let it get to room temp.
Okay.
I go turn my alfresco infrared, or on your grill. You want to get your grill. I like to sear up front, not to reverse. I don't like sous vide. I don't like really tender meat. I kind of like gritty grilled meat. And I was using the meter thermometer, but I just got tired of dealing with the freaking connection issues and stuff. So I just used whatever the flippy thermometer that everybody has. I forget what brand that is. But so I'll sear it for a minute or two on each side. Try to sear all the short sides as well. And then throw it on turn the grill all the way down and just use the grill as an oven. So I turn the infrared off, or the searing area off, and then I want to sear it at least 600 degrees, 5, 6, 7, 800 degrees. So you got to start the grill up, get it moving. And then I'm going to bring my ribeye to, say, 125 to 130 degrees internal temp. So I'm medium. If you wanted it medium rare, you'd probably bring it to 120 and get it off. I'm going to take it off, let it rest for at least 10 minutes. Just let it sit on the plate. You can cover it if you want. I don't find that necessary. If I don't cover it, let it sit for 5-10 minutes or so. Let it finish cooking. and then you cut it against the grain. So when you're cutting it, you want to cut it against the grain. It tends to be a little more tender that way. And then a 1-inch steak, I'll eat the whole thing. If it's a 1.5, like I said, I'll chop it up. But my favorites, so when I order from Steak River Farms, I'm telling you, I've tried a dozen companies. Something about their steak is just better. And so there's two main steaks that I buy. I'll buy Ribeye Choice or Prime. And then if you go to American Wagyu, the American Wagyu steaks, I always buy it black. I bought a few gold, so ribeye, only ribeyes. If you have a choice of a ribeye over a New York strip, I don't like fillets at all. I've even bought the ribeye fillets; they're not good. And so if you get, I usually throw, if I'm splurging, if you do a black, 1-inch, I usually order the 1.5 in the Wagyu. That's $85 a piece. A gold is what, $100 or something like that.
Yeah,
$99 for one. So this last order, I think I ordered 2 1.5-inch black, and that becomes like a treat, and then I ordered probably 8 1-inch choice, and I think I ordered 2 prime 1.5s or something. I just kind of throw them in there. So those are the 2 steaks I order and eat almost exclusively. I've tried the whatever different major companies that whatever Meat Box or the other things that I like from Butcher Box. Their sausage is okay. Their hot dogs I don't think are worth it. They're okay. You can get like a Hebrew National or Nathan's or a good organic hot dog. I find the Wagyu stuff is not worth the money. I don't like fillets at all. I hate fillets. Fillets are for girls.
What about the tomahawk?
I do like those, but it's $150, so no, I don't. I generally don't do those because then, you can't eat that whole thing. Especially a Wagyu ribeye, Wagyu tomahawk, and it just looks cool. What's the point? Just get a regular ribeye. It tastes the same. A lot of people say bone-in tastes different with flavor. I don't find it to be anything of value to me. And then I've gotten pretty good with that system. It's super super easy. You can cook a steak in 10, 12 minutes, something like that, 15 minutes. Let it sit. So 25 minutes, less than 30 minutes, I can have a steak every night. And because I'm eating just that, I'm basically buying eggs, butter, milk. The other thing I'll do is I'll take my supplements at night with milk. It's a whole milk. It's a treat. So I'll buy like Organic Valley or something like that, some sort of organic whole milk, and I'll probably drink 10 ounces of milk or something at night. It slowed my weight loss probably a bit, but that gives you some casein protein at night, and means I got to get up and take a leak 3 times because I'm drinking a bunch of water all the time and stuff. But that tends to keep me moving, and then I don't get tired. I don't take naps. I don't feel lethargic. The hungrier I am, the more fasting I do, the better I feel. So like today I didn't fast, but tomorrow I'll probably fast all the way because I'm going to probably mountain bike in the morning and then going to Kate's game. So I'll probably try to fast till dinner tomorrow. And then what I'll do is I'll take my morning supplements. I'll skip the protein. I'll skip the athletic greens usually, and I'll just take the morning supplementation right at dinner. And then so I don't break my fast. And then I will and I have 2 versions of the amino complex that I take. I'll either take aminos with electrolytes if I know I'm going to break my fast at breakfast. If I'm not, then I'll just take the amino without electrolytes because that won't break the fast. And that's what I do every single day, and just try to fight it. I find that carnivore is really easy to eat when you're eating out. Just give meat. And for me, I don't want to mess with refined flour. I'm just cutting. That is dead to me for life. I will no longer eat that. And so if there's bread at a restaurant, I don't know what kind of flour they're using, so I'm not messing with it. That's what's helping me out a lot, is just fighting against the that urge for it by saying, dude, this is poison. Probably not, but I don't want to do it. I find that the burgers are not worth it. They don't taste any different. If you really want to make great burgers, just go to Publix, get a Publix ribeye, and then grind it yourself. You can either grind it in the food processor, and you can kind of mix it up. Get some like brisket and get ribeye or short ribs and grind that up. That if you want a special burger, the burgers from all these companies, I bought them all and I don't find them to be particularly good. I hate grass-fed meat. I just can't do it. So the Snake River Farms is grass-fed, corn finished. I'm okay with that. I just hate the taste of the gamey and chewiness of a grass-fed steak. I just can't do it.
Yeah, Charlie95 Sheridan. He's the one who mentioned it last week. So thanks a lot, Charlie. You're the one who cost me the money there. And then Manny, I knew we'd get Manny all excited here. So Manny says, Meter 2.0 solves all those connection issues and now goes to higher temp. And you can view temps and times right from your Apple Watch.
Yeah.
You can't do that from a Rolex, though.
Yeah, because you have to keep your phone nearby. That's the other part that I gave up on. But in fairness, I've messed up a couple of steaks. Charred them a little bit. So that's what I'm doing, and it seems to be working. It is working, 100% working. I'm down, 40 pounds, fitter, healthier, have more muscle, clearer, happier, it's good. The only thing left of this for me to do is go to the doctor and drive. That's the two things.
All right, let's see. Kyrie says, I'm looking for single post lifts to save space and for a cleaner look.
Yep.
Have you heard of the American Custom Lift M1?
Yep. Yeah, the AC Lift is the most popular in that. I think it's pretty good. I've had some friends that have had it, and I think it's a good lift.
Jason Wallace, I think you addressed this in a video, said supplements are so daunting. Where do you even begin? Where do you research?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time. I can send it to you. Just email me. Any of you that would like it, I've sent it to probably 1,000 people at this point. I put it all together and organized it because I'm like, well, shoot, if I can if anybody else can benefit from this, part of my crazy is that I love doing this. I love doing the digging. I love the shopping, and I can't tell you how much I love when the supplements come and I get to take the cellophane off and the cotton out, and then I'm kind of trying to top off, and it makes me feel accomplished when I finish a bottle, which is ridiculous because that means I got to spend more money. It's like when I finish a roll of paper towels. I don't know. I feel this overwhelming sense of accomplishment and pride.
Yes.
I'm like, that's stupid. That means I just could spend another $3 on a roll of paper towels. But if I used the paper towels properly, then I knew my family didn't rifle through the paper towels. I feel good about it. I don't know why. But I have it all for you, and I've been doing a ton of reading and research on just. And you eventually have to just make a decision. So you have to trust somebody, and some of the data is going to be anecdotal, and you eventually have to put together something, and so that's what I've done, and you have to resist the urge to add like a billion things to it, and so I feel like the protocol that I put together is pretty good. It's working for me. There was only one thing that I've tried, SAMe, as a supplement that really didn't work for me. Every time if I stood up from right here, I would feel lightheaded. So every time I stood up, I would feel lightheaded for 10 seconds. I'm like, and the only thing I changed was SAMe, and then as soon as I stopped taking it, then I wasn't lightheaded. And then I tried it again. Sure enough, like, well, that one isn't working. That one's for the CompT break. CompT has a lot of data showing that it's tied to having that gene mutation is tied to ADHD and OCD and things like that. So there's another supplement I'm trying instead called TMG, trimethylglycine, I believe. And then when you have a CompT break, you have to make sure that you don't get anything with, I think it's called quercetin, QUERCERTIN, quercetin. So make sure you don't take anything with elderberry, which I don't know what I would be eating with elderberry, but I don't even know what elderberry is. But so those are just some of the things I'm trying to figure out.
Howlers wants to know, have you ever considered expanding in the car modification accessories range? Speakers, radar detectors, and such?
Radar detectors was interesting to me until I found out there is like 9%, 6 to 9% margin on radar detectors. So I'm like, oh, that's a waste of time. Cost you 3% just to do the transaction, or more. If somebody uses an Amex card or something. So I don't think so. I can't do everything. I'm much more interested in, lifestyle, like apparel, everyday carry type, knives and things like that. And I'm much more interested in, house related stuff in the house to supplement or attach to the garage.
We have a couple people here asking about the Evo, and then BJ says, not looking for employees? Dang, I was going to come be the in-house Evo technician. So what's the latest on the Evo?
Evo's been my driver, my workhorse. I've been driving it, to the gym every day and over to here to the garage. I do have a clunk in the front end to figure out what's going on with that. I bought a Busher exhaust. I'm going to try that exhaust. I have the turbo. I think sometime in the next February when we finish LZ, we'll have a little time in between Lena and going to Fred's garage before I lose the lift. We're gonna piece the Evo together, go have it tuned, I'll put the suspension on, wheels on it, and then drive it for a while and figure out where things go. I'm not sure.
Negron24 says, hey boys, this question is for Matt. How did you meet the amazing Mike? I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone that follows your channel. He seems so nice, and especially how versatile he is.
I think it's about 6 weeks ago. There's a Mike cast. If you just go to the channel, click the hourglass, and just type in Mike F. It's called the Mike F edition of the Dialed In podcast. I think you would want to go listen to that if you're interested. But he was a follower, and he reached out on a couple of things, and he's better at telling the story than I am because I don't remember. The first interaction I remember is he sent me a picture of him and Trevor and I think Taylor in the Be Obsessed or Be Average hoodies, and then I don't know, I called him and asked him something, or he tells the story in that podcast.
27 Motorsports wants to know, are there any updates on the DI solution?
Yeah, the working prototype, we finalized what that's going to look like. Now we're going to have it produced. So now the goal would be to start testing and start playing with different versions. And so the design of it is very MSS Plus looking, with a internal tank, and you'll see it's going to be frickin' sick. And then you can daisy chain them together, so you basically bolt them together like you would a cabinet array. And so if we wanted dual resin tanks or triple tanks, one with RO and then or carbon filtration. So we have, it's going to be sick. And then we're going to do like a professional version, like if you have a detail shop or some area where you don't care about it looking like a Sonic MSS Plus cabinet. We got another fly in here. What are you even doing in here?
Yeah, the flies are only in here when you're in here.
Do you have some old fruit in the corner in your basket or something? Yeah, so DI, I have no idea what it's going to cost. I'm not 100% sure what it's 100%. I know it's going to look like. It'll have, we're not going to put a flow meter on it yet, but it will have a TDS input and output, which I find to be really useful. What's the TDS of the water coming in? What's the TDS of the water going out? And this awesome digital display. And then we have the awesome handle to turn from bypass to regular. And then the tank is breaking all kinds of barriers on how the tank should be built. It's going to be sick. We'll start really sharing with you our findings as we get a little closer.
Let's see. Our buddy Brad Hone up in Washington said it's going to get down to -9 up there, and he hopes we stay warm.
Yeah,
that's cold.
I think we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, we're hitting a low of 31 in the next 10 days. I looked up
that's
for
true,
Brad. So don't come to here.
Yeah.
Stay up there. Classic Carson, adding on to the first car question, will Matt be teaching Ryan how to drive a manual? If so, we will definitely need a video.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep. I think we'll probably take him to some sort of driving school, like some Porsche Club of America, teen driving school or something like that. It'd be fun to do.
Detailing Garage wants to know, hey, Matt, can you do a review on more affordable tools and show us what to get?
No. Yeah. I'm not the right guy for that. Well, maybe I will, because I do like the idea of having, like Tecton Tools or something as a progression brand, but I'm not close to that yet. I need to get through the high end stuff, the stuff that I'm really excited about, and then really understand, what do I like about this, and then what would be acceptable to a younger version of an obsessed person.
Let's see. Oh, by the way, your Snap-on statement came in this week.
Yeah.
So me and Joe were looking at it. You somehow managed to pay $7 in interest.
Okay, I think I'm all right.
The course of everything.
Yeah. They somehow managed to. Yeah.
So they got their little bit out of you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, thanks for doing the garage giveaway, says Jose. I ordered the Sonic Porsche lug nuts to go with the Sonic torque wrench I purchased during the sale last month. The
Nice.
wrench is an insanely good tool.
I like it. Yeah. I like their torque wrenches. I think that the Stahlvilla are better, but they're a lot more money. And they're not as stylish. They don't look as cool. But I have no problems with all my Sonics when I had them all tested. When we did the certification on them, they were all spot on. I'm sure Sonic doesn't make them. They have some manufacturer that makes them, but I like them a lot.
White Goodman wants to know, Matt, are you familiar with Diode Dynamics? I have a big order coming from them for interior lighting. I didn't want to go 6K, but a truly measured 6K doesn't look too bad compared to the crap from Amazon.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I don't think I've ever bought anything from them. I may have at some point, but I'm not a big worry about the light bulbs in the car kind of guy. I don't know why. It's just not something I value.
Trera CP says, does the Florida humidity kick you in the butt, or are you used to it?
You get used to it for sure. I mean, you kind of get to the point where you can't really live without it. If you go somewhere that doesn't have the humidity, it freaking sucks the water out of you. You go to Las Vegas, you go to Phoenix. Shoot, even if you go somewhere where it's cold in the winter, where the humidity isn't there, man, it's you got to carry around some chapstick with you. And my biggest problem is my eyeballs. My eyeballs dry out. So you definitely become accustomed to and used to the humidity. In working out, I prefer it. I like it feels like I got more done, even though it didn't.
Matt, don't know if you've crossed this already. What are your best product ideas for taking care of the center lock anodized nut on Porsches that have those wheels, preventative to stop marring and lankiness?
Yeah, I mean, you really can't do anything for marring, but you can do something to help from it oxidizing and looking cheap. If you coat it, with a use the armor wheel coating that we suggest, or you just coat it with anything that helps. And then if you're wrenching on it all the time, you'd probably have to put the coating on regularly. So if you're using using it, removing your wheels all the time at the track or something, you're going to want to probably coat it every 6 months or so, because you're going to rub a lot of it off. But I don't think there's really much you can do other than just try to keep it from oxidizing, and then taking your time, when you put the socket on there and you remove the socket, not to jack it up. But that's really all you can do. And then, of course, the procedure would call for you to lube it with anti-seize every time, and making sure you're not getting that goop all over the place.
Detailing Garage says, I need a torque wrench that does 10 foot-pounds. What would you recommend that's affordable?
Yeah, I mean, the Sonic ones on our site are my favorite. The Stahlvilla are not affordable. They're like 3 times as much. I'm going to order a bunch of them. They're in my cart. I have to, on my spreadsheet, I have to get that order finalized.
Dan says, thanks, Matt. I'll have to try that metal coat. Anything to save me from polishing. Also in the market for a Raptor. Would you recommend the Gen 1 over the Gen 2?
If you could find a really clean Gen 1, Michelle liked the Gen 1 better. I like the Gen 1 better. I think the Gen 3 is the way to go, if you can, because it at least sounds a little bit better. It sounds more like a GTR than it does a fart machine. And you get all the modern creature comforts, but you got to pay so much money for that. So if you're looking in the used market, I mean, you can find a decent, Gen 1. I'd probably choose that. Either way, you're going to want to put Devers in the rear, Devers leaf springs, and a leveling kit in the front. And you're going to want to get the Amp Research steps. So you've got some work to do on any of them. So if you could find a Gen 1 or Gen 2 that already has the Devers done, that'd be sick, because that's a good $10,000, $8,000 upgrade cost.
Alec Whiteside says, hey, fellas. Matt, how important is it to own and use a paint thickness gauge when polishing? Thanks for all your help.
I think it's useless. It doesn't really tell you much, especially a cheap one. So I have one, the Dufelsco Positector 300, I think it is, or 600, 6,000 or something like that. It's $3,600, and it gives you, theoretically gives you the 3 different layers: the base coat or primer coat, the color coat, and then the clear coat. And in most instances, clear coat is about half of the the paint thickness, half to 2/3. But you just don't know. Even that really expensive one, you put some gel or some goop on the surface and you get it. Try to get an accurate reading. But you could put it on the same spot 5 times and get 5 different readings, and they can have a pretty high 20, 30, 40, 50% difference in reading. And so I find a paint depth gauge to be, I don't know if I'd say useless. It's more interesting than it is super useful. Really, if you're using a paint depth gauge for maximum potential, is what you're doing is you're looking for how much you're removing, right? So you would take a reading beforehand, an average of say like 12 positions, and then you would polish and you would take an average reading to give you an idea of how much you're removing. But the thing you don't really know is how much clear coat is on the car. Right? Even if you have that $3,500 one, it's giving you a guide or a reference, but it's not particularly accurate. So I find that a paint depth gauge to be worthless. Same thing, and a gloss meter is even worse. It's freaking gloss meter. I put the thing on there, and it gives you a different reading every time you touch it. And I see people using the $150 one from Amazon. The $4,000 one doesn't work. The $151 one certainly doesn't work. That's the one I bought and hit with a baseball bat. So I think that those gauges are fun, but not particularly useful. And I know people will argue with me on that, but maybe you need to teach me something, because I don't see how some inaccurate device. How can I put a device on a spot, same spot 4 times, and get 4 different numbers? Sometimes those numbers are way different. I don't like that.
Christopher Davis says, I just bought a replacement OEM wheel for my car because it was damaged. Mm-hmm. Should I detail/coat the replacement wheel before I mount the tire?
No, you should do it after. Otherwise, your wheel weight's going to fall off. Ask me how I know. So I guess you could detail it, set it up, coat the front, and then coat the back when it gets home. But I would just wait and do it all afterwards. That way you can clean off all the soap and crap from there. You can prep the tire and everything.
Dominic says, we've got 547,000 subscribers now. Do you remember when you had 1,000 subs?
Yeah, it took a while. I vaguely remember 5,000 was like a big number for me. The 5,000 probably took, 8 months or 9 months. I don't remember how long it took. I don't know if there's any way you can look at that.
I was just wondering that.
I don't think you can. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I think we're going to get to 1 million this year. I'm going to try. As you can see, we're actually putting effort into it to do it for the first time.
Yeah, it shows you kind of some different stats. I don't know if we can dig up the milestones.
Yeah, and I'm really going to hammer Adam now that we have some cool stuff that Adam can show on his channel. So Adam and Colette are really going to help me out over the next 3 or 4 weeks while we finish the project to help us grow that number quite a bit. And so we found it difficult to incorporate what we're doing with the really technical stuff on their vlogs, and so we're gonna come up with some cool stuff. Do something cool with Colette, and then do something do a bunch of cool stuff with Adam, drifting and things like that, and then tying in the house, and then asking people if they'd be kind enough to come and join us in this crazy journey. Because I think I have some cool stuff that they're going to be interested in the future. The new building and some of the cars we mess with and stuff like that.
Brett Watson says, hey, Matt, I just received my OG bucket solution today. Can't wait for the garage giveaway drawing. Is it going to be live on here?
Yeah, I think we'll do it Friday live. We should be ready to do it by then.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Neil White says, hey, Matt, I heard you talking about shrimp earlier. Do you incorporate fish into your diet? I've personally been on a salmon and sardine kick lately.
Yeah, I don't like fish, like regular fish. Salmon to me tastes like dirty water. I don't like salmon. I don't like really any fish. I like lobster.
Okay.
I like shrimp. I like crab. So the dirty fish I like. I like crab, like snow crab, or what is it called? What's the crabs we get in Florida here all the time?
King crab, snow
no,
crab.
the king crab's terrible.
Stone crab.
Stone
The
crab.
claws. Stone crab claws.
No, stone crab's terrible too. It's
Blue crab. Devil crab.
what is the ones we get here? The ones that they have at Publix. It's no,
They just look so angry.
it's not a Florida crab. I don't
Right.
think. Crab
see
types.
Let's see. Crab.
Yeah. What do we got here? I want to nail this down because it's very important. That one, snow crab. It is snow crab.
Snow crab clusters.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work for that much meat, though. That's my experience.
yeah. I don't think that's the one though. I think
But
it's
they're like
but I
super
think it is
long, and you
snow
got to
crab.
break them out. And,
Yeah,
you know.
but you could get a big Alaskan king crab. It tastes terrible. It tastes bland and boring. The snow crab stuff is sweet and delicious. But yeah, I do. I like the dirty fish.
The bottom dweller fish.
I do like smoked salmon. I
okay.
just don't like cooked, salmon. It's gross.
Oh, let's see here. Got to sort through some of this. ThermaWorks makes a nice probe thermometer if you don't want
That's
to deal
the
with
one I
connection
got.
issues.
Yep.
ThermaWorks?
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Yep.
Thanks, CK Mac. Harley wants to know, hey, Matt, would you consider a Lutron for Dummies video, like a beginner's class?
Yep. 100%. Yeah, we're gonna do all that stuff for you.
Austin wants to know, do you have any cars that are on the chopping block for the red sports car, or has the idea fizzled out?
Yeah, I mean the E36 and the Evo. My intention. So this year, this year is the first year ever that I came up with a New Year's resolution or whatever you want to call it list, like
Okay,
a goals list. I figure, look, I hate that crap. I'm turning over a new leaf here. I'm a new man. I'm asking for likes and subscribe, for gosh sakes. Maybe I should put together a list of things that I'd like to do.
Okay.
One of my big goals was to get to 1 million subscribers.
Okay.
And so I'm going to have to work on myself to be more appealing, and I'm going to have to be, not. And I just made this video on Inside the Hex talking about how do I do that authentically? How do I not jump the shark and lose everybody along the way that has been here forever? Like Dominic's been here since 1,000 subscribers. How do I not water down the message and be, start to become inauthentic and start to do bull crap? I mean, that's easy for me to do because I'm not good at that stuff. But how could we make more engaging content that people find interesting? And I think it's natural that it's happening because now we have full broad solutions where we can show people, like, here's how you can build a cool room or build a cool house or build a cool car and or detail a whole, here's the whole process. And then from there we can then sell individual products from that to make the business viable. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? This New Year's resolution?
New Year's resolution, 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, there was something else I was going to say about, what was his question? How did I get on this? Let me look at my list here.
The red sports car has the
Oh,
idea
yeah,
fizzled out.
Okay,
You
yeah.
said the E36. And
So, one goal was no seed oils, which I'm failing miserably at because everything has it. No enriched white flour, no snacks.
Okay.
So I'm doing one of those three.
Okay.
The seed oil thing is difficult, but I'm very cognizant of it. I want to try to eliminate as much as possible.
Okay.
January, carnivore only month, I've failed on that. So I've already failed on that resolution because I've had I had calamari last night. So I've had a few things off the list. My goal is to hit 200 pounds and just see what that feels like. So
Getting close there.
yeah, working on that. Lift lighter, focus on cardio and health. So lift lighter, do more, more longer, more cardio based. Again, just worry less about lifting heavy weights. Still lift heavy in comparison to the average dude, but not go crazy. Add fruit at 210. I want to have 1 million subscribers. Focus on simplifying OG messaging. So we've been talking about that, making the message of the end-to-end videos, the videos where we're showing these real big projects, these big cool things that are really engaging to people, and then going back to, like, say, the bucket package and taking better photos and making it more exact and other ways to improve it. Putting in the detail guards, and maybe we can find better casters and do better vinyl, and so we can go back to all the original audience who already has those or knows about it and make it more exact. We can bring along the new people, and if I can make it more entertaining and more interesting, and then we can market internationally as well, all at the same time. And then the OG site, I want to make it more creative looking, more specific, like our clothing line. I was looking at that page. It's terrible. Really clean up a lot of the things that need to be cleaned. I want to be selling in Canada, the UK, and Australia by year end. I want to book 20 new weeks at Destination OG this year. So we're working on that project. And so 20 new. I think we already have 15 books, so I'd like to book 20 more weeks. And then the main goal of the year is to drive Wire Road in my GT3 RS. So I don't have a GT3 RS.
Okay.
And I can't drive on Wire Road. I can't drive anywhere, and so that's my goal. And so that would require me to, if I can do that, I would no longer want the E36. I'd no longer want the Evo. I'd want to be driving my Cayman GTS. I want to be driving my Brewster GT3 Touring, driving my E92 M3, and have my 991 GT3 RS. And so that's my goal this year. So those are the goals that I wrote down.
Let's see. Any updates on the Evo? Yeah, we talked about that briefly. You should try Creekstone Farms beef. That's what I was just looking at here.
Yeah, I think I've ordered some of the stuff. I don't remember. There was at one point I ordered from like 12 different companies, and they show up all the time, and their branding looks really good, and I don't remember. So I may try some more of their stuff.
Have you gone down like the Meat Church on YouTube?
I'm
down that
sure.
rabbit hole?
Probably. I've watched butchers and all kinds of stuff on there.
Man. Let's see.
Learning about where the silver skin is and how to remove it, and watching all kinds of stuff. What I was doing on my 72-hour fast, this is really crazy, but I start watching, I was watching
videos.
Food videos. It's like I'm eating through my eyes. Mike's like, you're crazy. But yeah, I start watching videos, and so I'm gonna do. I made a pizza the other night, like an organic pizza, if you will.
Okay.
And so I made the Sam the Cooking Guide, pan pizza, and it was awesome. And so I did that. I knew I was doing a 72-hour fast, and so I ate pizza, a couple pieces of that, and Kate and Michelle and Ryan ate some of the rest of it. But I bought pizza steel for the oven. You put a big piece of steel in the oven. You can make it emulate like a wood fire type. And then I bought a bunch of other stuff for pizza making. And I've been trying to do some research on if anybody can make some suggestions on where to get really great mozzarella, both wet and dry that I could shred.
Gotcha. Christopher Davis said, I saw Zuckerberg has his own cattle at his ranch in Hawaii. He feeds them macadamia nuts to make his steaks. That could be your next obsession.
Yeah.
Khalid wants to know, Matt, have you ever tried Carpo ECH2O? If so, how does that work as a drying aid? Does it work as a drying aid? Yeah,
it's okay. It can be a little streaky, but a lot of people like that. I just think that I preferred Beadmaker, the look of Beadmaker over ECH2O. I used ECH2O for probably a year and a half, maybe. But I think that the OG drying aid, which is B&B Slipstream, is better.
Let's see. Chris says, Hassenflug, check out the combustion ink thermometer. It has a 2-part design to solve connectivity issues, and it has multiple sensors in the probe to simplify placement. So that's what
that looks right up my alley.
Yeah,
I like
it does
that.
look like something you like here.
Yeah.
Oh, they've got accessories too.
I like that.
All right, we'll save that for you. Hope you guys in Florida stay warm. Yeah. It's going to be negative 48, Spencer says, up in the Dakotas. That's insane.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
That's where Fahrenheit crosses over Celsius at negative 40?
Yeah. David J. War Eagle, what is the genetic defect that you have and how is it identified?
So
Gotcha.
you can do a cheek swab and send in for a genetic test.
So you didn't have to get poked or anything.
Right. And so MTFHR, I think it's MTFHR is one. Number 5, MTFHR. I always get the letters messed up. MTHFR. Yeah. And then there's MTT, I believe, COMT. So the two major ones that are an issue for me is MTFHR and COMT, C-O-M-T. And so you can find out your whether you're homozygous or heterozygous. I believe heterozygous means that you have two parents that both shared that gene defect, so you have 100% defect. Or I'm homozygous on both MTFHR and COMT. I'm like 40% deficient theoretically in those two. Both of those have a lot of ties to those genes, have a lot of ties to OCD and ADHD and other types of anxieties and things like that, and you can supplement for them. And so supplementation can help to offset the deficiencies. So the MTHFR gene mutation has to do with your ability to process folic acid, or your ability to produce folate. Folic acid is not found in nature. Folic acid is man-made. Folate is found in nature, and folate is an essential binding ingredient or something that you need for making cells. And so that's why I've been supplementing with folate, methylfolate, so a methylated, which is basically a bio-broken down folate supplement. But that alone wasn't doing much for me because I was still eating all kinds of white flour, which has folic acid, which is I can't process and it's poisoning me. And then was still pretty heavily, I believe, B12 deficient. So those two things have made me much more chill. Plus, losing fat and being more fit, certainly can hurt. So I started August 5th of last year. So we're September, October, November, December. I'm 5 months in. Feels like it's been a lot longer. So I'm down 40 pounds in 5 months by eating an elimination diet of basically red meat and eggs, the occasional no slip ups of anything white flour related, unless it was organic. Like the pizza I made, I ordered King whatever Arthur's organic bread flour, which is the whole wheat gluten instead of the enriched version, bleached version. And I feel different. So the driving issues, I think, is more just stems from that's like habit, and that I feel like I'm supposed to panic, and so I haven't quite mastered that yet. But I've certainly made some massive progress.
And do you remember what the name of the cheek swab kit or test? Or
I did the 10X Health Systems version, but you're gonna have a hard time because he went on Rogan and they're blowing up. So I know I've had a couple of guys send me and say, hey, I submitted mine and I'm waiting on, I'm 2 months in and I haven't gotten my test back yet. It's about, it's $600. They send you the cotton swab, you swab your cheek, and then they send you a PDF report, and it tells you, of these genes that, that have been studied. It tells you what, mutations you might have. And then they give you a suggestion on what to do. I'm not following their supplementation. The only supplement I'm buying from them is TMG to test that out for the COMT break. But I like I don't like multi supplements. That's from Huberman. Andrew Huberman generally suggests you take the supplement that's not they don't put a bunch of them together.
Let's see. Zwarzo wants to know, speaking of knives, are there going to be a restock of the pocket knives in the store?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they took us quite a while to get. Bryce did a lot of work on that. We're not sure. Cars with JR. Matt, what do you think about bidets in a home?
I mean, I think it's probably pretty cool. I've never used one. Never experienced one.
Yes. The
Yeah.
answer is yes.
I think I'd like it.
Yeah, it's nice. Let's see. Watch your last Inside the Hex video. Have you thought about making Mike F. an Obsessed Garage personality who could expand your reach?
Well, he already is. So, we've kind of done that.
Is Ryan showing an interest in cars? Charlie wants to know.
No, he doesn't give a crap. Yeah.
Tint Studio says, I finally got the Merca. Love how quiet it is.
Yeah, it's real good. If you haven't gotten it yet, you need to buy one.
Yeah, our audio's a little off, it seems, with the video. Sorry about that. Did I miss anything regarding the move into the new building? Spencer wants to know. Yep, we talked about that. It's going down next week, Spencer.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm almost positive I used to see pocket knives in the store. Went to go purchase one. I can't find them anywhere. We had one in there as part of the giveaway.
Yeah.
And then we had a few extras, so we sold those off. They all went in like a day or so. Let's see. Got a couple more here. I would hope, says Rogue Papa, that 2024 is the year people stop arguing with Matt. But let's be honest, Matt likes arguing and putting people in their place.
I do not like arguing at all. I do not. Yeah, but I suspect that's not going to happen.
Well, on the back of that, we have a compliment for you here. Tin Studio says, the effort really shows on your channel. The big projects are just something you don't see anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And it's, what we're good at. I'm good at putting it together and then putting a team together to execute on it.
Kyrie says, I'm looking at getting some Go-Jacks to move vehicles around. Seems to be the go-to for those who have tried it. Do you have any tips on car dollies, and do you have any interest in selling them in the future?
I bought them, those pink ones, I think same brand. I think it's the Go-Jack company that makes the little wheel doll or tire dollies. I had them, and then I had 2 different sets of them, and we never used them because they're kind of a pain to get put in place. I bought them because I thought I'd want to roll them around. Then I hated having them sitting there. Now that I have lev rack, maybe I'll get another set of them someday. But it is nice to have it if you wanted to turn the car sideways or tuck it in the corner or something like that. But I found them to be a big pain to get set up.
JJMM says lobster, shrimp, and other bottom feeders are not fish. They're bugs.
Yeah, that's
He likes the bugs.
But they taste good.
Rogue Papa, you'll like this here. As someone who defeated type 2 diabetes, lost 100 pounds of fat, and buffed up,
nice.
The motivation for me was and is avoid the snacks so I can become the snack. There you go. Detailing Garage says, Matt, I'm trying to get a computer set up. I'm going to get an Apple Mini.
Okay.
What would you recommend for the monitor and accessories? Trying to get the monitor and accessories under $700.
Yeah, you lost me there.
Yeah.
I'd want the Apple, the Apple monitor. Yeah, I mean, you just get like an LG or a Dell. Dell. I think the Dell 38s that we do are $1,100 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
they're more than 700.
Yeah, when you're in that price range, your monitors options aren't great. Yeah, I don't know. Probably some sort of an LG.
How's the Cayman working on Helen? MX304 wants to know.
It's great. I don't know if we had anybody. I don't think we've had anybody use it yet. Maybe one person.
Yeah, I think Manny said one person.
Yeah. But we have 4 or 5 booked, something like that. So I think it's going to be fine.
Jeremy Smith. I've driven a GT3 RS on Waya. It was a blast. It was the green 991.2 that ADE rented.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
It's it's that Appalachian driving experience, I think.
Yeah. Gotcha. Clap 9. My Swiss tracks just arrived. One last thing for Matt to give me when I win that garage giveaway.
Nice.
There you go.
We can allocate those funds elsewhere.
JJMM wants to know. He says, I'm in on the mozzarella info as well.
Yeah.
So he wants to know too.
I want to find a place where I can just order it from because we don't have any high-end places here.
Matt should try manioca and carrot bread. Those are roots and not grains. Very interesting.
That sounds very vegan-y, and I don't like
Weber.
freaking vegans. Yeah. Anything vegan. You don't hear me preaching to you about you got to eat meat only. The freaking dork vegans that always look like they're dying, sick and dying. I could snap them in half. And they're so righteous, It happens now because I'm always searching for meat, and so I get all these vegan videos show up in your algorithm and stuff. Yeah.
Oh man. How's the new warehouse coming along? I'm looking forward to all the videos. It's good, Josh. We're hoping to move in next week. That's the plan. What made you get tested? Joshua wants to know the cheek swabbing thing.
Well, I did this years ago when I think probably 4 years ago when I met my new psychiatrist. So I had this terrible psychiatrist, just terrible, just putting me on, just didn't know what the heck he's doing. And so he's the one who put me on Prozac years ago, and then when I started to go crazy again, and I needed some help, and so we went. And I found somebody who's like an actual legit doctor, who has some legit chops and does research and stuff like that. And so Micah Baxley, and he was a friend already. He's a car guy, and so he suggested, all right, before we even get started. And by the way, I'm sitting on his couch freaking out, wanting to get up and run out of there. And so while we're doing that, so I was deathly afraid to do this, which is, I'm telling you, it's just a cheek swab, but I don't know why I was deathly afraid to find out I'm dying or something. And so he said, we got to do this genetic testing, because if for some reason you can't metabolize, he had a hunch that I had this MTHFR break, that if you have that, you can't metabolize a lot of different antidepressants. So you're gonna do all this trial and error and try 50 different medications, when if you have this break, there's only like 4 that you can metabolize, 4 or 5, and so and then who knows, maybe we could put you on it. He already knew about this years ago, where we could supplement with folate, methylized folate, and then that would help you, process whatever antidepressant we give you. And so I took the genetic test, and I knew that I had this MTHFR break, or mutation, it should be called. It should say. And so, because I guess probably my mom, but one parent has that genetic mutation. And so Michelle has the same thing. So our kids probably both are, deficient. And so Michelle, she had several miscarriages, and it was because the freaking idiots put you on folic acid, because it's shown to help with, I don't know, spina bifida or something back in the day, or some bull crap like that. And so they always put you on a prenatal vitamin, which is nonsense. And especially if you have, so you just give you this generalized thing, and folic acid is also shown to, basically create postpartum depression. So they think that maybe even it may be possible, certain people think that it may be possible that all of this pumping people up with folic acid pre-pregnancy means you end up with postpartum depression before you even crank the baby out, And then what happens is you come out of it when you stop taking the prenatal vitamin, So I don't know that that's maybe anecdotal, but I don't know that it's proven. But anyway, so Michelle has the same mutation, and so that then made my life a lot simpler to find an antidepressant that could help stabilize me. Now I'm still taking like a baby dose of fluvoxamine, and I would like to not take that as well. But the dose I found, I take 37.5 milligrams a day. Take it at night, and I find that doesn't. If I take 50, then I'm like sleepy, half the day. If I take 25, then I feel like I get a little squirrely. So 37.5 is like the perfect combination. It doesn't seem to affect me. I don't have any side effects from it. I don't have any weight gain or tiredness or anything. It's actually a great anti-inflammatory as well. But I would rather not take that. But I'm staying on it until I can drive. So that's how I found out. And so then you don't have to, your genetic test doesn't ever change. So I could have just dug that test up, but I said, you know what, this Gary Brecka guy has really been, I've really been resonating with his content. I'd like to throw, him a bone. And so I bought the test. And I'll just caution you that I did it before he was on Rogan. And so you buy the test, and then you can pay $120, which I just paid the $120 extra to have one of his, clinical staff, clinicians, have a couple of Zoom calls with you to go over it. And so I paid the $120. I got sent the the calendar invite, and there was no dates. So I emailed him a couple of times. I just gave up. So I said, well, I owe him more than $120 for helping change my life, so whatever. And then I just read and did my own, searching of what these things mean, and then I've been chasing some supplementation. In a perfect world, I would also then have blood tests to confirm, okay, I'm taking B12. Am I taking too much, too little? What do my B12 levels look like? What do my testosterone levels look like? All that kind of stuff. And that's what I would like to get to. But that's my trigger, is anything medically related. So I'm trying to stabilize myself.
CK Mac wants to know, do you have any suggestions on chef knives? And do you sharpen your own or send them out?
Sending them out I find is terrible. I did that once, and they jacked up all my knives. I bought a sharpener for dummies kind of thing that I bought from a company called Wasabi or something like that. It's a couple $100. I haven't used it yet, but I like Yaxle Super Gal. The Yaxle knives are my favorite. Japanese knives. They're really, really expensive, but I really dig them. So I have J. Henkel's that we got from our wedding registry that the wife and kids use. And they open up boxes with them, and cut every. Those are the ones I sent out to get sharpened. They're kind of janked. So that's a $600 set of everything knives. A 15-piece set. Whereas, the Yaxle, a single Yaxle steak knife is like $200 or something like that. The chef's knife that I have is, I don't know, $450 or something crazy like that. But that's a lifetime purchase, I think, especially if you don't let anybody else use it. So no one else is allowed to use those knives. They're due to be sharpened. I'd like to sharpen them, so maybe I got the thing sitting in the bottom drawer. I bought it 8 months ago. I'd like to set it up. What it does is helps you set the angle so it becomes dummy proof on the stone.
Ben says, do you have any idea when the Prevost kit for the CR will be in stock? Don't see an ETA on the out-of-stock page. No, Ben, there's like one or two little parts that we're having some issues getting. But
you'd better, if it's reserved your spot, you're better off just putting your order in, and we'll send it out as soon as we get it.
Yeah. Cars of JR says, mozzarella de bufala from Campania, Italy is what you want. So I did a little research here. So that's from a water buffalo.
Okay.
And it's higher in calcium, protein, and lower in cholesterol than cow's milk.
But can I order it?
You're the shopper. You got to figure that part out.
Okay.
I'm sure you can, but you don't want it from Amazon. I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe you do. They're $145. There you go.
Huh.
Guaranteed overnight.
Huh. That looks like my speed.
Yeah. Well, maybe you do get your mozzarella from Amazon. All right, so thanks for that. Cars with JR. Just now seeing Griot's Garage car soap pads ads on my phone. Kind of silly, but I kind of want them. Is that they're like the Tide Pods sort of thing?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Interesting. Have you decided whether or not, Jay wants to know, you're going to do a Stroker E92? Would love to see it. Would also love to see a video about combining a garage gym into the garage for us two-car garage folks.
If you have a two-car garage, how are you going to put a garage gym in your garage? No way. No, don't put your gym in your garage. I hate that. Your garage is for your car. Build a shed or something out back and put your stuff in, or go to the gym. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that idea.
Let's see. Ryan has a suggestion here. Matt and Mike F should create some kind of recipe book for all the meals they like.
Yeah.
Mike's meals always look good.
That would be a fun idea.
The OG cookbook.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'm kind of into it. I really want to do my kitchen, but I had an epiphany. So we have our family over for the holidays and multiple occasions, and it's kind of nice that. So remember this house that I'm in. So the house, I'd say the Woodgate house was my house. That was my house. It was a dream house or whatever you want to say, and we remodeled the kitchen and the master bath and stuff, and then we were moving to that house on the lake, which which fell through, and then I ended up with that house in Harbor Hills, and then remember this house was just supposed to be the bridge between me building one and the nightmare in Harbor Hills, the goofy HOA. And so now I'm in this house, and I really like it. I like where it is. I like the size of it. I like the layout of it. The garage is really nice. We have 2 acres, 2+ acres, where I feel like the kids like it. It's a good spot. and it's a good size, and it's not crazy expensive. We have a great rate on the mortgage and all that kind of stuff. And so I've been thinking about, well, I would really love this house if I did the floors and like did interior design, got nice furniture, and did the kitchen. Tore the kitchen out and did the kitchen amazingly. But I'm sitting there, and all the people are at my house, and they're trashing the place. Trashing for me, and I didn't give a crap. But if I had my my wide plank white oak floors, and people are kicking the side of my my white oak cabinets, and my Penville $250,000 cabinets, and my amazing refrigerator, and everybody's freaking getting dirt and crap all over the place, and the dog's puking in the corner, I'd be miserable. So I think I had a real epiphany of it's not worth it to do really nice stuff, at least at this point in my life. And then when my kids are out of the house, we can uninvite everybody, and no one's allowed over ever again, except for a select few group of people. So I think I'm gonna hold tight on it. I do want to build a house at some point, but let's see, in 12 days I get the money for the Woodgate lot, so I'm not building there. I need to buy 100 acres. Is what I need to do.
Andrew Fowler says, Matt, is the detached pole barn project at your house on hold with all the recent changes?
Yeah, I think we're still going to do it, but yeah, it's on hold at the moment.
We got a super chat, $1.99 from Jay Hunt. Thanks, Jay. Brian W. wants to know, will there be any future content from yourself and Signature Wheels?
Maybe. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. I don't really have a car that I need wheels for at the moment.
Let's see. JR wants to know, Matt, what do you think of the new SVS tower speakers?
Yeah, I saw them posted and talked about at SEMA. I don't know. I haven't looked at what the tweeter is. I suspect it's probably some sort of metal dome, which means I probably wouldn't love it.
Obsessed Mobile Detailing says, a few weeks ago you mentioned you bought a bunch more vacuums to start to test any updates. The biggest reason for me not getting the modern day yet is I'm concerned it won't have super strong suction.
Yeah, we have all the tests. I'll probably put those videos up this week. So we have the videos made. I just want to put them all up back to back.
Dylan wants to know, what do you think about the SVS Satellite 5.1 for a medium-sized room?
I just think you can do better. It's certainly a great system. We'll rock the room. We'll do nicely. It's just not their subwoofers are my favorite, but their speakers they're good. But I think you can do better.
Kyrie just purchased the portable Krenzla while it was on sale and absolutely loves it.
Nice.
I'm thinking of buying a mobile lev rack and converting it to a detail cart, similar to what you did for Lino.
Yeah.
Any tips?
Yeah, I mean, I think that could work. You want a Cox hose reel. You want an OG spec hose. You want, to put a Mosmatic wand holder on the side of it. And then you're going to want to probably use your 1122 for something else. You're going to want to put a 1322 on it. Unless you're just going to, not put the pressure washer on it. Then I don't know what to tell you. I would rather have the Rousseau detail cart.
Ryan wants to know, if it ever happened and Adam decided to sell the compound, would Matt ever move there?
Oh, God, no. No.
He says, at least now the house would be up to spec.
No way. No.
It's kind of in the middle of nowhere on some swampland.
No.
They don't have a Chipotle.
Nope.
There's no Ruth's Chris. Andy 2000, the best sharpener I found is the Rapid Steel Action by F. Dick from Germany. You probably don't want to use it on your Japanese knives, but it works great on the usual Wusthof, Hinkle, etc.
Yeah, because the Japanese would be a different angle.
All right. Well, thank you for all the questions today. We started early, and we even went over a little. That's
nice.
Yeah.
It's a bonus episode.
Give the people some extra.
And we weren't even going to do this today, so we were going to try to do it from Adam LZ's, but then I'm like, I'm coming home. Bonus.
So next Friday, we'll leave. We're taking everything else. We'll probably leave this set up here.
Yep.
We'll do the podcast from here. We'll do the garage giveaway drawing.
Yep.
and hopefully get to change somebody's life for the better next week.
Yeah, and then hopefully, get this set up so we can keep. Mike says the parking lot. He says they're doing a fantastic job.
Oh, that's good.
Look at this. Yeah,
Pictures.
I got to go over and check it out. Oh yeah. I think we'll see. I mean, Drew and I talked about it 6 months ago, something like that. Yeah, I mean, he has some big plans. We'll see how he executes on it, and I'm sure we'll do some stuff together. I like Drew. At first, I didn't like him, but I like him now. Something about him just seemed a little off, but I've gotten to know him. He's a good dude.
All right, so thanks, everyone. Thanks for the questions. We will see you next week, same time, where we'll do the garage giveaway winner
Yeah,
announcement.
see you then. Thanks, everybody.